My wife lives like a queen, but she wants a 2-week long vacation since she's tired and needs a break. Now, she doesn't have a house to return to after I learned all her disgusting secrets. I am the sole provider for my family of 6. I work 5 days a week and sometimes work on weekends if we need a little more cash. My partner is a Psalm and hasn't worked since our eldest was born. By her own choice, we've been together for 17 years. I wake up at 5 a.m. and take the dogs out, prepare kids' lunches/snacks, ensure all school essentials such as bags, etc. are at the front door, then head to work in a physically demanding job. Kids are picked up for daycare/school at 7. Due to after-school activities and clubs etc., they're not home until 6. My wife doesn't take anyone to their clubs/activities. Their clubs are in the school. I come home at 7 and make dinner most nights, help with homework, do bath time for the little ones, do dishes, take dogs out for longer walks again, and put little ones in bed if the house is a mess. I will of course clean it. I pay for everything: mortgage, bills, insurance, groceries, clothes, toys, technology, after-school activities, dates, and a woman to deep clean the house once a month. Honestly, my wife is not isolated. She often tells me of things she's done with her friends, sister, mother, etc. She goes to the gym and does and enjoys hobbies such as embroidery, knitting, and some jewelry design. She changes what she likes to do, and says it keeps things fresh. Anyway, my partner wants to go on a 2-week long vacation with her friends, which will overlap with the weekend away I had planned with my brother, who I rarely get to see as we live so far away. She wants me to cancel my trip as she's tired and needs a break. We got into an argument over it in which unkind things were said on both sides, but I am unwilling to budge on this. Update 1. Kids all left for school by 7-ish. My wife came downstairs at 11:45 and seemed very shocked to see me. She asked what I was doing at home and I explained I took a sick day as I wasn't feeling well. The first words out of her mouth were, "But we need the money, you don't look that bad." I made a face, and she quickly asked what was wrong and asked if she could get me anything. I asked for water and we sat on the couch, but soon her phone rang, and she went off into the kitchen to talk. She came back a while later and asked if I wanted to get something to eat, and I said we could make something from the kitchen. She said she wanted to go out and I said we could order takeout, but I wasn't in the mood to go out. The dogs had been sitting by the chest freezer waiting in the pantry for their lunchtime enrichment for 10 minutes now, and I asked if she was going to feed them. She flopped onto the couch and asked me to get it. I said no. She asked again, and I said no, again. She glared at me but eventually got up and gave it to them. She asked me to take her out again several times, and I kept saying no. I was starting to get a migraine, which I told her, but she kept asking, suggesting we could go shopping. She could get her nails done and we could enjoy the day together. I refused, said we had something to talk about, and she said we would then go upstairs. She came back down 40 minutes later dressed up and said if I wasn't going to take her out, she'd go herself. I tried to get her to sit down so we could talk, but she blew me a kiss at the door and rushed outside without even locking it. While she was out, I took some of your advice and canceled the cleaning lady we have. I apologized to her, as I really did like her, but she was very understanding and I think we parted on good terms. She returned home at 8 p.m. and immediately asked where dinner was. I told her the kids and I had already eaten. She asked where her dinner was and I told her she'd have to make something for herself. She said she'd just order something, and I told her no. This gave her pause and she looked at me like I just told her she had to starve. She said she couldn't cook, and told her I know she's perfectly capable of making something. We have plenty of food. It's not like she has to be Gordon Ramsay to stick a tin of soup or something on the stove. She left again, and returned 30 minutes later with McDonald's for herself, which set the younger kids off. Yes, they'd already eaten, but she walked in the door finishing her burger and drink with an empty bag and McFlurry tub. Our youngest asked why she didn't bring her any ice cream and my wife said Daddy said I wasn't allowed to. I did not say this, and I swear it took more strength than I'd like to admit not to yell at her in front of our daughter. When the kids were in bed, I asked her to sit and talk about the situation regarding our trips. She asked if I'd rescheduled with my brother and I firmly told her no, and that I wouldn't be. I tried to have a conversation. I explained I felt our duties were incredibly uneven and that I'd like for her to take on more responsibilities with the children in the house. She argued that she does enough and I asked her to make a list. She put the laundry down, fed the dogs, made doctor appointments, and grocery shopping. I brought out my own list with everything I've told you guys so far and added that I created the dogs' meals. She simply has to give them to them. I fold and distribute laundry, take kids to doctor's appointments, and that the groceries are ordered through an app on her phone, delivered to the house, and I put them away. She got up then. I asked what she was doing and she said she was going upstairs. I didn't argue. I didn't want it to resolve into an argument and wake the kids up. She was visibly shaking with anger. A while later I went upstairs as well. She was on the phone with someone, and when I entered the room she demanded I leave and go sleep on the couch. I refused and climbed into bed. She hung up the phone and demanded again that I sleep on the couch, and again I refused. She grabbed me and physically tried to drag me out. That resulted in a fight and I ended up sleeping on the couch because she was going to wake the kids up again. The following days were much of the same. I have stopped folding and putting away her laundry. I do it for myself and the younger kids, and my 2 oldest take their piles and put them away themselves. I still cook for the kids but have told my wife that she has to make her own meals. Petty, I know. I think my eldest heard us arguing because he asked if he could take the dogs out for a couple of walks with his friend during the week. He hazes, and he says he's enjoying it, but I think he and my wife had an argument the other day because he's been very distant with her and things just feel off. He's asked me about 3 times if I love him, or course I've told him there is nothing he could ever do to make me not. Yes, I've tried to talk him about it, but he doesn't want to talk yet and I need to respect that. I think pushing him could be a mistake. Thursday night my wife asked if we could have a drink as I had to leave on Friday to see my brother. I had ones, but honestly it went right to my head and honestly just wanted to sleep. She kept trying to initiate intimacy, but I wasn't in the mood. I woke up Friday morning and my wife was gone, So was her suitcase. I've texted and called but there's been no answer other than a text telling me we'd talk about it when she's back. She ignored me and went on her trip regardless and I am furious. I have left her some cash in the bank account, she has the card too, but have removed everything else into another account. I had to call my brother why I wouldn't be coming to see him, and he arrived here on Saturday with my nephew and 2 nieces. The house is very full, but honestly it feels more open than it has in a long time. The kids seem relaxed and so do the dogs. I don't know what will happen with my wife, but I am done. I can't afford a lawyer right now and unfortunately I don't know any who could give me a deal or do me a favor, but this marriage is over. It should have been a long time ago. Final update. My wife lives like a queen but she wants a 2-week long vacation since she's tired and needs a break. Now, she doesn't have a house to return to after I learned all her disgusting secrets. It's taken me so long to update because as most of you already knew, some of the children aren't mine. My eldest, my son, is mine. My 3 daughters are not. I found out not long after my first update, and while I thought I could handle the news clearly, my body couldn't and I had a heart attack. Thankfully my brother was with me and called an ambulance. I am recovering but Jesus Christ, it scared the shite out of me and my family. As some of you may remember, when my ex left for vacation, I took the majority of the money out of the account she used but left some as I didn't want to leave her stranded. That money, about $500 or so, was gone in a few days. She used her own money, that she's been making from OnlyFans, to fund her trip. Yes, I'm serious. She has an OnlyFans account. My son had offered to take the dogs out for me during his lunch, free class time, and walked in on his mother making content. In the living room, she told him that I wasn't making enough money for the family to survive and that she had to do the OnlyFans to help support us. She told him I was ashamed and embarrassed and that I would be very unhappy and hurt if he mentioned it. She told him that doing so could ruin our marriage and could lead us to divorce. My in-laws know everything, as my brother had to call them to help watch my kids while I was in the hospital. My father-in-law is furious and my mother-in-law is just devastated. She keeps apologizing to me, like she's the one who betrayed me. My ex moved out. She tried to make me leave so she could stay in the house with the kids, but after a conversation with her father, she's renting a place. My eldest daughter and my son knows the girls aren't mine. My ex told them after they said they didn't want to go live with her at her new place. My mother-in-law was with them at the time and according to my daughter, she began screaming at my wife for her behavior. My youngest 2 don't know yet, but they will. This isn't something I can keep from them forever. They already know that something is up. I've cut my hours back at work and have been able to work from home. It's obviously a desk job for now, but I am thankful to my boss for working with me on this. I came home to find out that my mother-in-law and one of my sister-in-laws had cleared out my wife's hobby space and made it an office den for me. I am very grateful for their support during this. I know it can be easy to take the side of your daughter, sister's ex-partner during a breakup, but I appreciate them. While things aren't great by any stretch of the imagination, I feel strange. Things seem calmer without my ex in the house. There seems to be more laughter about the place. Even the dogs appear more at ease. But I am so angry. Which obviously isn't good for my heart. But I've wasted a huge chunk of my life raising kids that aren't mine in a marriage that was fucked from the beginning. Now please, don't take what I said as me saying I regret my girls. I don't at all. They are smart, beautiful, cheeky little Warritos I love with all of my heart. But the betrayal stings. The fact that I've been working my ass off for years and she's been making thousands on OnlyFans and been keeping it to herself stings. I am ashamed, humiliated, embarrassed, angry, and relived. It's a mess of emotions in my head, but I know I'll get through it. Hopefully, I need to for my kids and dogs.